Morning peeps, I'm back again. Now, I was going to do a walking video today, but it's a bit too windy and noisy because of the wind. So I'm not probably going to do one now, but I was kind of coming up here to experiment, to try and improve my technique a bit, because the last one I did vertically, I was using the front camera instead of the rear camera, as someone pointed out in the comments. And you know, I've got to try and get it right, and also find some interesting content as well. But this is the Port Hills above Christchurch. Down there you can see that's the sea down there. That's actually Banks Peninsula, which is formed out of a volcano. So that was a kind of a volcanic eruption down there at some stage. So that would have been the crater where that water is down there, a bit like Santorini, typical similar sort of thing, I guess, isn't it? And it really is blowing up here. We're about 500 metres above Christchurch, and this is where everybody comes to go mountain biking and running and that. I come up here to do my runs, and it looks great, but it is quite exposed. So there's no wind down in town, but come up here and you can see it's pretty bad. Christchurch is actually out the back. I don't know if we're better see it. We could quickly nip out and have a look, shall we, and see if we can see it. I don't know if I'll put this on or not. Maybe just experimenting with what I'm doing. Here comes a runner now. Right, so that's Christchurch. And in the distance you can probably see it. See that? That's the Canterbury Plains in the background. And so that's the Canterbury Plains. There's a runner. Lots of people go running around here. And that's what I'll be doing in a minute. But unfortunately, because it is quite chilly up here today. But yeah, so that's have a quick closer look down here. There's Digital and that down there. There's a couple of bikers down there. There's lots of trails and that around here. And I think I'll get back in the car pits and talk some football. I don't know if you're up here. It'd be interesting to see how much that noise actually affects the sound quality. Look, here comes some cyclists. We're stopping and film the cyclists, shall we? Here they come. Look. All the Lycra boys coming round the corner. See that? There's hundreds of them come up here on a Sunday. I nearly swiped some actually on my way up here. It's quite a narrow road, and there's some more people. So, shut the door. Now, FPL and what they can do about everybody playing the chips on the same double game weeks. We like get 2 or 3 double game weeks a season, don't we? And every single time people's chip strategies converge and the chips are all used in those 2 or 3 double game weeks. So we get the situation where everybody's team is identical, or pretty much identical. And it's not very good, is it, really? So what can they do about it? What can they do, peeps? In particular, what can Mark do about it? Because I saw some people today on Blue Sky saying, look, we've got to tell Mark to abolish we've got to get the bench boost abolished. A lot of people were saying that. But I don't actually mind the bench boost. But the fact all these chips are being used on double game weeks, maybe they should just not allow chips during a double game week. Maybe that's an option they should consider, because it does seem a bit unfair, like with the triple captain. I mean, when else are you going to play them if it's not during a double game week? Every year people try and play it at another time, but it's never optimal. It's always suboptimal. Right, there's a little foxy. And He's not a Leicester fox. Well, they did score 2 goals today, didn't they? So it just shows how bad Brighton are. But I'll put that back on 1. Peeps, I got it on double. There we go. But that's my thought for the day anyway. But they do need to find a way of limiting this chip use around double game weeks. Unless, of course, they introduce even more chips and then there's more choice of which ones you use. So you've got more chips and you've got double game weeks, and then you have to choose which ones you're going to use on a double game week and which one you're going to use on a single game week and all that type of thing. So that's got to be considered, I guess. But really, it's becoming a bit same old now, isn't it, with these chips? Anyway, peeps, captaincy next week.